Alright, good morning YouTube. It is trying to keep these videos in order. I know I'm behind and I have a bunch of videos shot and I need to edit and then put them up. So I'm trying to keep these in order. Just an update. Firewood stand. Sales are dwindling. I think the winter is coming to an end. And I have one new neighbor. He's local. He says he's 5 minutes away. Found me on Marketplace. Has bought a few bundles and some kindling from me, and so that's going well. I have a propane tank out there for sale too. Now that barbecue season is going to be upon us, but yeah, it is. It's going. See here, I'll show you where it was a video on the guy that I got the maple from and I gave the whiskey to. That pile was here, and I got rid of that in anticipation for a new addition to the household coming Saturday. You may see that in the yard soon, and then I'll talk about it later. I have some cedar in this spot, so I cleared that out the other day. So now my driveway there's no more wood. Done. So today is a non-rainy day, so in the Pacific Northwest, when there is little or no rain, that means that you need to get outside. So I just got some fuel for the splitter, and I think I'm going to be doing some splitting later today, but first I need to prep for that process. So let's go down the hill, check out the wood. So that is the maple. You may have seen it, may or may not have seen it in a previous video. This is the maple that I got from a neighbor of mine. Neighbor as in he's in the same town as me, but like 10 minutes away. So this pile, oh god, she was maybe like 6 loads in the 4x8 medium duty trailer that I am using. So we'll get to, I hopefully want to start splitting this today, but I have the cedar here to cut up and stack. So I forget where I was at in the story of cedar, but as a reminder, or the first time viewing my channel, a few years ago I made friends with a local wood carver. He's one of those guys that will take like cypress or cedar, mostly cedar, and buy them in log forms, take them to the mill, get them down to blocks like these but longer, obviously, and he carves statues like Bigfoot or fish or native scenes or some sort of like wooden statues that you find at least for us, at local county fairs during the summertime. So that's like his main business, I think. But he has all these scraps from these blocks and stands from when he's using his lathe or something for his making statues, to these like oddball pieces here that are like certain scraps, like small pieces. And it's all cedar. It's all wood that can be burned. So we connected years ago on Craigslist, and ever since, whenever he's had a load of anything, he'll, on his way to the mill to pick up more wood, he will stop by my house, drop it at the top of the driveway where my truck is currently, and then it's free. It's easy for him, easy for me. It's a mutual beneficial relationship. Professional. I've been to his place once or twice picking up loads when I had access to a bigger trailer. Now that I have the Tacoma to tow it, but usually he'll stop by, swing, and drop it off, and he's good to go. Take like 5 minutes maybe, and he's off and running. But recently we were going to Costco, I offered him a bottle of vodka just as a thank you. And the first time I did this, he insisted on paying me. This time, he was okay taking it for free just as a thank you. Because in the past, I burned the cedar myself and trying to figure out like how to market the cedar. But this past summer, I had a big market. People wanted to buy cedar for their summer campfires. I think specifically for the ambiance, and with cedar, it will like snap, crackle, and pop, and then so just that noise they really like. So yeah, I've been selling a lot of cedar, so I wanted to get some. So I think I'm gonna start figuring out that cedar today, this morning, before I start splitting the maple. But out of these blocks, so a lot of them are regular size. So this is 16-inch more or less, split into what I would call on my ads a traditional cut, which is stacked in here, which is the same length as this regular cedar that I had split a few videos ago. But this stuff here is a small little, like you would call them cookies here. And what I've done is I have split those into smaller chunks, and they are now stacked in this section here as cookies. And these will sell. I'll put them in the ICB tote cages down there, and then I'll sell them by the cage as cookies. And this is what I've sold a lot of this past summer when I had more. This is probably, in terms of the depth, probably maybe like 2 cages depending on how I stack it, which is fine. I think it's worth my time to separate it. But what I'm really excited about is it just dawned on me when the cuts are 16 inches, a little shy of 16 inches, so they're not long enough to sell, or in my opinion they're too short to sell as traditional cut, so they're not uniform, or they're kind of funky to stack in here. I think I see a leak in my shed. I need to fix that soon. Anyway, I digress. I have when they're shorter like this one's probably like 14 inches in length, a little shy of 16, so I don't want to put it in the regular wood. I've made kindling. You guys saw this just now. Kindling, a whole bunch of kindling that I can season, put in like a 5-gallon bucket, sell for $5, and that's a lot of buckets, a whole bunch of buckets. So I'm really excited about this. But the issue I'm trying to figure out in my head is where to put it, where to season it. I tried selling it the other day, and the guy said it was too wet. I understand, because it's been on the rain, and I mean, cedar it's not very long to dry out, but it's been kind of wet and dreary still here in the Northwest. That's where to put it. So, like, if I put it in front of the traditional cut, will it be in the way if I need to get to that to sell, but the kindling is in the way? Then what do I do? So I think I have to build a separate area for it. But in the meantime, it's definitely in the way of my splitter. So I think when I'm done with this rest of the cedar, I'm gonna move it, because the maple I'm going to put. All right, so that was all of the cookie pile. So I'll just toss those a little bit in front of the garbage cans and then stack them in that cookie section, which is right there. And then I just got done splitting a handful of a 16-inch, more or less, blocks that are I threw behind these kindling that go in here. So now it's time to change gears a little bit and cut these down to size 16 inches, and then split those.